Hello everyone, it's Sandy from Spiral Crafts and Workshops, and I'm just popping in with a quick tutorial because I had a problem this week. Not that kind of problem, that's a different channel entirely, but I had a problem because somebody had very kindly, this wasn't the problem, given me a beautiful plant. This is a Streptocarpus. However, the problem was the stems were starting to sag and the flowers are just gonna droop. So I wanted to make a wire support to go with my plants, and this is how I did it. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick trip through the tools and materials. You need a pair of pliers, either chain nosed or flat nosed. These are flat nosed. You need a heavy duty set of wire cutters because the wire is a bit bigger, because we're giving support to the plant. We need a heavier duty wire, so we need a heavier duty wire cutter to get through the cutting. The wire itself is a stainless steel, galvanised stainless steel 1.2mm diameter wire. That should be enough for holding something as delicate as this one without any problem, and it's not too tall. So there's your wire. I've actually released off a loop ready for working with. You need a ruler, measuring tape or ruler, anything that can give you the measurement that you need. We've only got one measurement to do. And finally, and absolutely, well, it doesn't have to be absolutely hideous, but mine is absolutely hideous, a really strong plant pot or a jam jar, or preferably a plastic container. Even a plant pot will do, plastic plant pot, as long as it's nice and heavy duty and doesn't distort too much. I use this one. It's graduated on the side, so when I wrap my wire around I can actually do lots of different diameters, so I don't need to keep lots of different pots to shape lots of different circles. This one does everything for me. It's just a bit hideous and I don't like it much, but I keep it around because it's useful. And that is all you're going to need to make. Oh, you need your plant as well, because you need to measure against your plant. So I'm going to list all those below if you want to go and have a look. And while you're down there, if you want to subscribe and give us a like or hit the bell, whatever you want, then you'll find more of our videos when they come up. You'll be notified. Once you've got everything together, then you make your one and only measurement that you need to make. So you need to grab your plant pot and your plant and stick your ruler at the side, somewhere around about here. It doesn't have to be dead accurate, but if you can make it as accurate as possible. So my stems sort of come to about here, and I want to support them just below the flowers. So I'm going to go for something round about 20, by the looks of it, if I put my finger there. Something around about 20 centimetres on that, which will give me the height to hold the flowers up. And also you've then got bits everywhere now, but then you've also got enough wire to go down into the pot so that you can support the support itself. So I'm going to go for 20 centimetres, and I'm not yet going to cut the wire, and you'll see why in a minute, because you don't know how big the loop's going to be yet, so I'd rather just, that's just your height, so I'd rather just leave it on, and then we can decide where we want to cut it afterwards. So the other thing I need to do is perhaps have a look at my pot and my plant together and decide if that's going to be a big enough loop or whether I want to go for a smaller loop up here. So I think I'm going to go for the bigger loop at the bottom, because there's quite a few flowers to bring together. So just do the same if you've got jam jars, bits everywhere again. Just do the same if you've got jam jars, just hold them against your flowers and see roughly what sort of size you want. As long as you don't go too small or too big, that's what you're after. You're looking for something kind of in the middle. Take your wire, grab your plant pot. I'm going for the bigger edge, so I'm going to actually go with, there's already a curve on the wire, so I'm going to go with the curve, stand it up that way, and I'm going to just put the wire, bend the wire, so hold it at the end, and then just wrap the wire around the pot where you want it, like that. So I'll put that on its side again because I still want to go with the, see if I can get it all the way around. There. Just hold it in place and bend it. It's always worth going a little bit round, more than a whole circle, because it just gives you a nice bit of continuity. I'll put that back over there. Now I've got my loop. You can bring your plant back in again, all bits on my table, and you can just have a look and see whether you think that loop is too big or too small. I think that's actually just slightly too big. So I'm going to take everybody out again. There you go, lads and lasses. Wipe off my table again, and I might just remould that a little bit lower down and go for a slightly smaller loop. It's all very, it depends totally on the size of your own plant and what you're trying to do. So it's always good to know how to adjust if you need to. So I'm going to take it down to about there, and then I'm going to push the loop round, mould the wire to that, to a smaller size. It's fighting me a little bit, doesn't it always? There we go. So that's kind of where I want it. So I'm just going to do a little bit extra as well. So that's a little bit smaller now. And if I bring my plant back in, loop it over, all my little flowers. And I think that's a little bit better to me. That's where I want it to be. So now you've got your loop, you want to take your pliers, and you want to put your pliers round about where the end of this wire, and you make the full loop there. So take your pliers, and your full loop is in this plane. So you put your pliers on like that, and then you want to turn away from you, so you're going down. So you've got this plane and you want the bend to go away from you downwards. Do it however, you know, in whatever position suits you. So if you need to do it, whichever way you need to hold your wire really. But you need to make sure that this is your loop and that this is going down, away or up. It depends which way, because if you do it that way, it's coming up at a right angle. So the bend on your wire here is an absolute right angle. And then you want to straighten your wire out. Take all your kinks out. And sometimes you have a kink in your wire like this one here. Just get your pliers on very gently and just straighten those up. So this is your support, so you want this as straight as possible. Right, and this is going to be the height that we measured earlier. So I wanted 20 centimetres, there's my 20, down to about there, give or take, round about there. So I'm going to hold it, flip the catch off my wire cutters, get in with my wire cutters, like so, and then very gently, I think it's slipped a bit then, I'm just going to double check because I did slip a bit there. Yeah, it did. These things happen, you have to be careful when you're making. So I'm going to go back to there. Yeah, my cutter's on, mind your fingers, and hold this end of the wire, hold both ends if you can, but I'm just going to hold this because it's pinging around, and put through. I'll put my cutters away, and put it over there, wire over there. So what I've now got is just a circle with a nice long straight length to it. And I'm just going to, if you've got kids or pets, it would be worth filing. If this is too sharp, it's not too bad on mine, it's worth filing this edge so that it's not sharp at all. But once we've done that, we'll also just grab it with your pliers, hold it gently, and just, you just want to keep it going in the circle shape. That's it. So keep it going in the circle shape and just rotate it in like that. And what you're after is just a tucking in. There we go, that's a bit better. Try and make it a bit smoother without too many bends. And I'm just going to turn this in a little bit. And then that stops it when people brush by or people are around, that with the wire in there, it stops it catching on things. And that is your support made. So it's ready. Bring the plant over. I would actually slide all the plants in first. So just slide them in there. And that's it. Up a little bit. Then stick your wire down here into the plant, push it down, get it upright, push it down. Oh, he's slipped out. And so's he. There we go. And there we have it. Lost his bloom now. There you have it. So you've now got a lovely support that just helps these stems stay upwards and helps the flowers to be seen a lot better than they would be if they were just drooping down over the side of the plant. Now, you can make, here's a top tip for you, you can make bigger ones of these for other plants in the garden. If you do that, then you need to make sure that the wire is a larger diameter. So you want to go bigger diameter for your bigger plants, because otherwise this won't be strong enough to support a bigger plant or the height of a bigger plant. But just remember, when you get up to 2.5 millimeters, and I'll put it below as well, when you get to 2.5 millimeters on the wire, above that gets really difficult to bend with a pair of pliers. It takes a bit of brute force and a lot of moulding around something really solid when it's like that. So just go up to about 2.5, even that's going to be fairly tough. But just go up to 2.5. Above that, we're going to have to find some other solution. But that's an easy way just to make bigger ones and still have them give the support to your plants. And that's it for today, for this tutorial. If you've got any questions, then please leave them below in the comments and I'll get back to you and drop you an answer. And if you like us, give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos, give a subscribe and a bell, and YouTube will notify you when you've got a new one to watch. See you soon.